second warning. There's a good chance there'll be some harsh language in the video that follows.
Good, we're done. Right? That's your 10 seconds. Good. Thank fuck for that. Welcome to the first and possibly last video on how to play Outlands. In this video we'll run through the basics of what you need to play, how you generate action dice for your models, and just generally have a quick couple of rounds just to show the ebb and flow of the game. So for the purpose of playing Outlands you need 5 models. They can be any models you want, as long as they're between 28 and 32 millimeters high to represent human size. The base size isn't really important, but the minimum is 25 millimeters. You'll need a character sheet, which is one of these. This is our demo sheet, so it's laminated. You'll need a handful of dice, some of them, a tape measure, which is one of these.
You didn't know.
You didn't know. And some tokens or counters, and of course you'll need a copy of the rules.
Where can you find those rules then?
Well, that'll be somewhere. So I've set up my models within the deployment zone. Ross has set up his over there, hiding. The idea of the game is to collect these spice crystals while trying not to get killed, but also trying to kill the other team. So I'm the active player, Ross is going to be the reactive player for this. I'm going to activate a model. Activate the model, you have to generate action dice. The action dice you generate allows you to move and attack and pause the model. These are the basic and standard actions. So for this example, I'm going to activate this blue model. Now this blue model's got 3 lives, so that means I get to roll 3 dice. And what I'm looking for is 3, 4, 5 or a 6. And I have 1 6, which is good, and I have a 2 and a 1. Now those 2s and 1s, we'll come back to those. Well, that 6 has generated 1 action dice for that model, but it also allows me to roll an extra dice. And once again, that is also a 1. That gives Ross 3 reaction dice.
Thanks to John's failure rolls. He's failed them 3 dice. I get to now roll them, and I'm looking for 3 up, 3, 4, 5 or a 6. Yeah, so chuck that one away, and I get to keep 2 reaction dice, which I'll put in a pot, and we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. So with my 1 action, I'm going to move the blue guy a whole 6 inches up to there. Once I've activated the model and spent all of his action dice, and then choose another model to activate, which will be the green model. And once again, the green model's got 3 lives, so I get to roll 3 dice. And they're all good. 3, 4 and a 6. With the 6, I also get to roll another dice, which is not so good. That's come out with a 2. So that gives Ross another potential reaction dice.
Thank you very much, John. Once again, 3 up, 3, 4, 5 or a 6. And I get to keep it.
So with my 3 actions, my first action I'm going to move up to there. Spent.
At the end of John's activation, I'm going to jump in now and spend 1 of my dice, one of my reaction dice, and I'm going to decide to react to that particular model with this model. So the dice is spent, I get to move my normal 6-inch movement as a reaction.
As a reaction happens, you can only react to a model that made or attempted the previous action. So that's quite important to remember. So for that example, Ross couldn't have made a reaction against the blue one, he could only make the reaction against the green one. So for my second action, I can't see any of his models, so I'm going to move again up to there. And for my last one, no reactions, Ross?
Nothing at the moment.
I'm going to move up to there. So my green model has been activated, I can't do anything else with it, so I'll move on to my next one, which is the yellow model. Once again, 3 lives. Here we go. And that's 1 failure, but 2 good ones. That's a potential reaction dice for Ross, who roll now.
I'll go for that. Same as before, 3 up. And I get a 6.
I won't worry about the initiative, we'll do that next time. So, for my first action, I shall move there.
And I am going to react with one of these lovely dice. I'm going to move this model over here.
And for my last action, I shall move that one up to there. Okay. So now that's the yellow guy done. I shall move on to the black based model. Once again, 3 lives. All models start off with 3 lives. Just to stop any confusion, there's a 1, so that's a potential reaction to Ross.
Thank you. 3 up, and that's a fail. So I don't get to keep that dice.
And because I got a 6, I get to explode that for another 6. And a 2, which is a fail.
And keep that one.
Okay. So you can measure at any time during the game. And I'm not going to be able to get close enough to shoot just yet. So I'm going to spend one of those actions to move. Any reactions?
I think I might do that. So 1 dice to react to that model. And move that 6 inches there.
And I'll spend my second one to move to there. Now, am I within range to take a shot? 20 inches. So with my last and final action dice for that model, I'm going to use his assault rifle, which is a range of 20, and it's got a damage of 1d6 plus 1. We'll come to the damage when it happens. Now that model, I'm shooting at Ross's blue model there, is just 20 inches, so I can shoot it. I can see it. The shooting works. It's very basic. If a model is less than half range of the weapon you're using, you need to hit a 3. If it's half range or over, you'll need a 4. If it's less than half range and in cover, you also need a 4. If it's long range, which is half range and over, and in cover, you need a 5. If you get a 6, and when it happens, we'll explain what happens and procedure for resolving that combat. So for this attack, I'll spend my last action dice. I'm within range and I've got line of sight. The model's out in the open, so I need a 4. And I've got a 5, so that model's now hit. So now we roll for damage, and the damage on this rifle is 1d6 plus 1. So 1d6, which is the 2, plus the 1 is a 3. And Ross needs to get 4, 5 or 6 to beat that.
Down to this, and I make it.
You made it. Okay, so I shall move on to the last model, which is the red one. 3 lives, 3 dice. They're all good. Plus a 6. That's not so good. So that's 1 potential reaction to you.
Leader.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
Okay. So. And I fail.
Oh, okay. So I'll spend the first one up to there. I'll spend the second one to make a move action up to there. So that's 2 of my 3. I should be well within range. Yeah. I can shoot through my own models. I can't shoot through an enemy model to hit another enemy model. So I'm going to attempt to shoot that model. Once again, it's out in the open, it's at long range, so I need a 4. And it's a 1, and I've missed. Now, the shot has come from my front arc to that model's front arc. For a brief description, a model has a front arc and a back arc. All attacks must be done from the front of the model. Which means Ross can make a free dodge action. So I've tried to shoot it, I've missed, that shot's gone wild, so that model can, if Ross wants, make a free dodge action, which is 3 inches, but not towards the attacking model.
So I do want to dodge out the way, 3 inches away from that attacking model. That just totally messed me up. Did you want to run?
It's in you the wrong way around.
This is your 10-second warning. You might want to lock up your daughters, children. There will be some harsh language.
Like shit, fucking piss and cunt.
Obviously.
Should we try that, okay? I knew we were saying that. Oh, shit.
Thanks to John's generous fails, I get to roll 3 dice.
And you're looking for...
And I'm looking for 3 for shit, fuck, cunt, bollocks, crap.
Yeah, it is now.
Right, it is now.
And press it again to stop it.
Fucking hell, look old. I do look old. Massively old. It's because I am getting old.